Where you go play, Daddy?
I'm not playing anything, buddy. I'm doing a video for work. See? Yeah. Hello. See, that's you and me. Hello.
Oh.
Okay, buddy. Daddy has to do work now, okay? I need to tilt this down so you don't get that light behind you. Yeah, you can see me, but sit there over there, okay, buddy? Yeah. Hey, everybody. Excuse me. I'm having an awful day. I'm going to try to just on this laptop, but I don't know how well it's going to work because the internet doesn't do so good for it. But, I'm going to try and do my best. I don't know if the sound works. I don't know if anything is working. So, well, and there's a dog. Hello, Zippy. He's a good boy. Yeah, this is a lot harder than doing it in my basement when I have the computer. His name is Giuseppe. We just got him a little bit ago, and he likes jumping on my lap. Hello. All right, so I'm going to do a quick analysis of everything and answer any questions you guys have. So Zeppy's going to keep sitting here, apparently. Let's move over here. You can lay down, okay? Here you go. There you go, buddy. You can lay down over there, okay? Lay down. All right. Nope, it's going to just sit right there. There, lay down. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. I know, buddy. Okay, here we go, folks. Hello. Thank you for joining. So let's take a look at everything today and answer any questions. So frame up is the Phillies and the Nats. Both of these are confirmed lineups so far. We got, there's another lineup that just popped. I'll figure out what that is in a second. We have the Phillies. They are resting Real Muto today, which is a nice bonus. They are also resting Maikel Franco today. So you have Segura, Harper. Excuse me. The pain is bad. I'm going to be doing that, folks. Sorry. Kingery, Hoskins, and then Sean Rodriguez batting 5th. Roman Quinn batting 6th. This looks like a very good lineup for Patrick Corbin to get right at. I know the Phillies are projected for 5.6, but I imagine that they assume that the Phillies will be playing at full strength, and they most certainly are not. I mean, anytime you have Sean Rodriguez and Roman Quinn, 5 and 6, the lineup as a whole isn't going to be that good. So Patrick Corbin definitely gets a little bonus today, that lineup. That being said, there are pitchers I'm going to like a little bit better. But Patrick Corbin is, a Cy Young ace caliber dude. Getting him for 8,200 is pretty crazy on DraftKings. So he's one of those dudes that you can absolutely pay down for because he has the skill set and he has the ability, to get you 25, 30 DKP tonight. And he's just not priced for that, especially on like a smaller slate. On FanDuel at 9,400. Jeez, I'm sorry. That's a lot more reasonable a price. So I wouldn't look at him as much on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, given the Phillies lineup, that looks fantastic. Please let me know if you guys can hear me because I really want to know if you can hear me. I don't know where the microphone is. I don't know where I'm supposed to be talking into. I don't know anything at all. It might be up front here. If it's over here, then I'm burying it in my gut. So yeah, let me know because I really have no idea. I've never used this for this before. On the other side, we have Jake Arrieta, who's been pitching poorly against a red-hot top of the Nats lineup. Eaton and Turner swapped 1 and 2, so we have Eaton leading off again. Okay, great. Thank you, Artis. I appreciate it. Eaton, Turner, Rendon, Soto, Adams as the 1 through 5. I absolutely love. They're fresh off scoring 15 runs. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Fresh off scoring 15 runs yesterday, and they're getting Jake Arrieta today with, like I said, hasn't been doing that well, and I wouldn't mind taking the hot team. There are some teams that I like a lot better, so I'm going to, pick other guys above the Nats, but this is one where if I'm playing this game, it's going to be Corbin on DraftKings, and then, sorry, this dog is too cute not to pet him all the time, and then having some exposure to the Nats stack. Like I said, Arrieta's been in bad enough form. It looks like he's falling off that old man cliff. So it's just a question of taking advantage of that while people are still paying up for the name or avoiding him because of the name. All right, next game, we got the Rays and the Yankees. We had Yanni Chirinos and Masahiro Tanaka going. I talked about Chirinos the last time he pitched, when he was over 10,000, about how he is a fantastic pitcher that gets overlooked and underrated because the Rays were using him as a long reliever. But he really is good. Now, I don't think I'm going to prioritize using him against the Yankees, especially when they have Encarnacion in the lineup. But, just as a whole, Yanni Chirinos is someone that is going to go under-owned and severely undervalued and underpriced because of his previous role and the lack of upside that it had as he come in as a long reliever. So if you're playing GPP, I have no problem taking a chance on Yanni. I really don't. I think he's a great pitcher. He has been in great form lately. The only problem is, again, the Yankees are going to score like 5 runs today, and until you get to Cameron Maybin, there's not a bat here. Excuse me, the medicine. There's not a bat here that I'm worried about. I had my doctor specialist today, and they had to do all the strength testing and everything again, so I'm ragged. So, like I said, I'm going to do my best. The only cold Yankee is Aaron Hicks, so I wouldn't mind avoiding him if you're going to build a stack. I think that it is there's enough Yankees options that if you want to even go with a full 5, they are cheap enough that you can do it, but this is more of a stay away. I don't really want to play Yanni at that price. Hey, they can't see you. You have to come in closer.
Hi.
Hi, that's the road. He just turned 4 yesterday, right, buddy? 4 years old now, huh? What a big guy. That's my big guy right there. So, yeah, Yanni Chirinos I like. No, don't say things like that, buddy. Go sit down, please. Your little robe, we don't give names out on the internet because people are weird. I know you know your name. I'm proud of you. But this daddy's not going to have to delete this video after we're done with it. So Yanni Chirinos is a good pitcher. I'm going to avoid the Yankees because I like Chirinos. On the other side, Tanaka, as I've talked about every time he pitches, this is going to get worse. Hi, Zeppy. You're a good boy. Hello. Tanaka is one of those pitchers that could be an ace anytime he pitches, or he could blow up anytime he pitches. So he is someone that I always consider a GPP play, just like I consider any offense going against him a GPP play, because Tanaka can just get blown up. And we've seen over the last couple of starts, he has not looked that good. And I'm getting a phone call from here. That doesn't mean good. Yes, Mitchell, absolutely. I can turn on closed captioning. I don't know how, but as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to look that up on YouTube and figure out if they have like an auto closed captioning option. I would absolutely love to do that. I don't hear very well sometimes. The years, it's not something I was born with. It's my fault for being a musician and not wearing ear protection for a decade of loud guitar and drums and everything. But closed captioning is very important to me, so I will absolutely look that up as soon as I'm done here and try to figure out how to turn that on for, if not this video, all future videos. All right, thank you for that, Mitchell. I appreciate that. Any good feedback like that. If you have any suggestions, anything that you guys need or want that would help you guys out, I'm here for you, like I've said a million times, and I'll say a million more. If there's something that you guys need, I have no problem, even if it's a little bit of extra work for me, period. No questions asked, no problems. Sometimes I'll say no, but like I said, I'm here for you guys, and if it's possible for me to do something that will help you out, all the more. So I will take care of that as soon as I can, Mitchell. Uh, so I would consider Tanaka a GPP play at 8,000. He's someone that's been, he has a good enough upside. It's hard to trust him. Uh, Especially going against a good Tampa Bay. Excuse me again. I should just give a blanket excuse me. Uh, Especially against a potent Tampa Bay offense. Um, over the last couple weeks, his strikeouts per nine is 6.4, which, given how many pitching options today, you just can't take 2.2 home runs per nine, which is a lot for him. 1.18 WHIP isn't so bad, but the FIP is 5.55, xFIP 4.5. He has not been pitching well. So I think that if you're trying to look for stacks, Tampa Bay, Pham Lau, Garcia, Troy, Kiermaier. If you want to take a chance on a cold and expensive Meadows, I can understand that, but I really like the 2 through 6 with some Willie Adames there as a reverse splits. As I've talked about, if you have a reverse splits hitter going against a reverse splits pitcher, you got jackpot. And that's what we have here with Tanaka as a reverse splits pitcher and Willie Adames as a reverse splits righty. So I do like Adames a lot as well. There's a few bats here at Tampa Bay that I like. So I don't think anybody, when Masahiro Tanaka pitches, is safe on the mound or at the plate. So I will go GPP for both. I would lean, given recent form, more towards taking Tampa Bay than taking Tanaka. If you're doing like one lineup and have to choose between them, or it's a limited slate. But oh, Zebby, you're so cute. Hello, Zebby. That's right, buddy. It's a sky tornado. Yes, the sky's good at making tornadoes. All right, so that does that game. Let's move on to the third game. We've got the Angels and the Blue Jays. As of right now, as of when I started the video, I should say, the Angels lineup was not out yet. I expect that's because they are waiting for absolute confirmation that Justin Upton is coming back. If that is the case, that adds even more depth to this lineup. I will say this flat out, and I don't think that I'm going to be alone here, given the fact that Vegas agrees and that's going to push ownership towards them. But with Edwin Jackson pitching, the Angels are my favorite stack of the day, and it's not even close. I want to talk in more detail about that, so I hope I'm going to be able to. In the future, I hope the lineup is out by the time I'm done with the video. But ignoring that, the Angels team has been hitting well lately. They are projected to get the most runs on the slate, and they are going against the worst pitcher on the slate. So all of those things added up together. Marshall is, yeah, buddy. All those things add up together to a bunch of bats that I do want to take. So I will actually say I misspoke before. The Angels bats have been cold lately, even though they're going to have the hottest total. I still think that it's worth taking the bats here because Edwin Jackson is as good a get-right spot as you're going to find. So since we don't know what the lineup is at this point, it's still not out yet, I just want to look at who the hot and cold batters are in case I don't get to it later. So we have Ohtani over the last week, has a 450 batting average, 1.422 OPS with a 570 WOBA, 450 ISO. He had the cycle. He's hot. When Ohtani's hot, you can play him. He's not going against a lefty, so we don't have anything that we need to worry about. And then everybody else that's going to be playing today would be colder. There's only two other players, on the Angels that have an OPS over 1,000, and that's Bohr and Smith, and both of them are not in the normal lineup, so I wouldn't expect a lot out of them. And then if you look at, the bulk of the lineup. La Stella, his OPS the last week is 364. Rengifo, 433. Calhoun, 536. Tovar, if he's been playing every day, 598. Jonathan Lucroy, 688. Albert Pujols, 706. No. While La Stella and Rengifo are terrible, Calhoun is getting there. A lot of these people are in the middle, but again, that says that, if you are, all things being equal, going to look at them, taking them when they have a projected total of the highest on the slate and going against Edward Jackson is a jackpot. I will be doing what I can get me some Angels bats. More so if Justin Upton is back. I know it's harder to take someone coming off the IL, especially someone who hasn't really done anything except a couple minor league games like Upton. But 3,900 price tag, batting cleanup, assuming that he's back into that spot like he should have been. 3,900 batting cleanup in this lineup against Edwin Jackson is just absolutely fantastic. So there's a lot here on the Angels that I'm absolutely in love with, and I'm going to take a lot of advantage of. Again, I don't care if they're using an opener. I don't care about anything else. I know Edwin Jackson's going to get the bulk of the innings. I know the Angels are going to tee off on him because Edwin Jackson is going to project to get like negative points. And that might be a joke, but it actually might be true. Let's actually look. Hey, Ida. Nope. I have Edwin Jackson projected to get 2.22 DKP today, which is still the least value, 0.53 value for DK. That is absolutely ridiculous and terrible. All right, so let's move on. On the other side, we have Felix Pena coming in after an opener. He's been pretty cold lately, so this also gives us a chance to take a Blue Jays stack, and they've been on fire. If you look at who's hot and who's cold on the Blue Jays, you have Sogard, Biggio, Guerrero, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Galvis, and Luke Maile, all confirmed in the lineup today. All have been hot. And if I say hot, it means an OPS over 1,000 with a WOBA of like 400 and over. So that is a significant portion of the lineup that's confirmed already that's going to be hot. So, nice, buddy. Go ahead. You can go play with Boop for a little bit. You can play with Buzz Lightyear. Just don't make him talk. No, because that's too loud. Daddy's doing a video where people have to hear him, okay? Thank you, buddy. Yeah, play with Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear's awesome. Did you guys see Ada? Ada's on my other arm. There's Ada. Ada's one of my kitties. She's a good girl. And then Zeppy. Oops, sorry, Zeppy. I hit Zeppy's arm. Oh, and Zeppy. Zeppy's off now. Hit Zeppy's arm. That's right, buddy. Buzz Lightyear is just like you and me. So, come, Zeppy, come back. It's okay. Come on. So on the other side, we have Felix Pena, who's not a good pitcher, coming in after the opener. The Blue Jays have been really hot. The Jays are going to be one of my favorite stacks as well today. I really want to get the bats in on this game. There is another team that's even hotter than the Blue Jays. It's something I've never seen before since I started doing these. So I know. Keep in mind, I love the Angels. I love the Blue Jays, but there's a team right now that is as hot as the sun from front to bottom of that lineup. So let's move on. Zeppy, let me sit down. Come on, Zeppy. People don't want to see the cute doll. Maybe they do. People do want to see the cute doll. All right, up next is the Astros and the Reds. The Astros lineup came out when I started the video. Bregman, Brantley, Alvarez batting third, Gurriel, Chirinos and Reddick flipped, and then White and Kemp. So I basically have the lineup correct, except the 3 and the 4 and the 5 and the 6 flipped. So we can talk about that. Angels lineup, come out. All right. So let's go back to that before I go on to this game. Hold on. I just want to correct the lineup while I have it here. So you know what? While I do that, I might as well talk about the game. We have Wade Miley on one side and Luis Castillo on the other side. Wade Miley has been pitching really well lately against a mediocre Reds team, so that means I'm going to like Wade Miley tonight. He is going to be a good pitcher at 8,400. No, you cannot step on the computers. On the other side, we have Luis Castillo, who Went through a little bit of a cold stretch. It looks like he's coming out of it now. But I still don't want to really play him against an Astros team that can hit the ball like whoa. So, if Luis Castillo was priced in the 9,000s, I would be totally fine with taking a chance on him. But Luis Castillo is just way too cheap. I mean, way too expensive given the other options that we have. There, I have people answering things on Twitter. So yeah, Wade Miley, 8,400. I'd rather have him with somewhat similar upside than Luis Castillo. So you could save $1,600. If you're going to spend up, I'll get to all that later. Also, take note that there's a good chance that it rains throughout this whole game. So we're going to have to be really cautious of that as well. But again, this is a game where I'm not going to be going to the batting at all. If I'm playing anybody here, it's going to be Miley and then Castillo. Flat out. The only bat that I would absolutely love is, taking a go on Yordan Alvarez, man. That kid can hit. And he is, man, I think he's had one game under 10 DKP. I probably actually have that right here. Hold on 1 second, folks, because it is something that is out of this world. That kid has started out, I have him projected on my projections to get like 20 DKP today, which is a function of how hot he has been. And of course, the internet isn't working that well because I'm trying to do a video and this computer already sucks. Okay. No. Sorry, folks. I really want to go over because I looked at this earlier and it is insane, the totals that he's been putting up and the fact that he's only 4,500 when he's been hitting like an absolute, MVP candidate, much less Rookie of the Year candidate. Definite all-star. So here we got Yordan Alvarez. He has played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 6 games so far. Excuse me. 18 DKP, 20 DKP, 8 DKP, 30 DKP, 20 DKP. Oh, and then yesterday he got 0. So I must have looked at this before the 0. But that's still absolutely incredible. Alvarez is a fantastic bat. And while I do, again, I like both pitchers in this game. I don't want to say that the pitching is bad here because it's not. If I'm taking a one-off, it's going to be him. But again, the Astros are going to score under 4 runs. They're projected for 3.9. So yeah, this is a game where if I'm going anywhere here, it's going to be going to the bats. Next up, we have Mets and the Braves. This is the crazy one. So I normally like to suggest Zach Wheeler because he's underrated. He is a good strikeout pitcher with good stuff, and people think he's worse than he is, which means his ownership is lower than it should be. But this is one of those cases where, oh boy, do I want the Braves. Wheeler has been cold lately, but on top of that, this is something that I have never seen before. Excuse me. When I've been going through these, the hot, cold, and all that for over a month now. I've been looking at every day, going over who's hot and who's cold, and using my metrics and everything. So this is I don't know how the best way to do this because it's overwhelming. Let's go over that. I'm just going to do OPS, ISO, and WOBA. All right? Every batter in the confirmed Braves lineup for today. Acuna, hot, 1.169 OPS, 273 ISO, 487 WOBA. Swanson, hot, 976 OPS, 115 ISO, 434 WOBA. Freddie Freeman, hot, 1,000 OPS, 300 ISO, 398 WOBA. Josh Donaldson, hot, 1.303 OPS, 519 ISO, 524 WOBA. Nick Markakis, hot, 980 OPS, 222 ISO, 409 WOBA. Austin Riley, hot, 1.045 OPS, 357 ISO, 428 WOBA. Brian McCann, hot. Where is he? 1.192 OPS, 529 ISO, 473 WOBA, and batting eighth, Ozzy Albies, hot. 1.348 OPS, 483 ISO, and 544 WOBA. That's 8 batters. All 8 in the Braves lineup are hot. If you look, the first 13 Braves listed are OPS of about 980 or over with a WOBA of 390 and over. The top 13, that means that they fill their lineup and then they could have pinch hitters for the whole day, and every single one of them has been on fire hot the last week. So give me a Braves team that is going to go under-owned because of the totals in other spots. Give me, no Zach Wheeler today. I'm sorry, there's something in there. The Braves, given recent form, have done something I've never seen before. So I'm going to take an overwhelmingly high approach to the hurts so much to the Braves today. I think that again, Wheeler, while generally underrated, is still respected enough that people aren't going to stack against him as in situations where an Edwin Jackson is pitching, and that makes sense. But you really can't look at the Braves and the way they've been hitting recently over the last week. It's not like 2 days, a week, and not be, impressed. Obviously, this means that they're all going to get cold at once, and that's going to be awesome to get some pitchers against them in a couple weeks, if not, in a day or two. But as of right now, they are still on fire. So give me the Braves as one of the best stacks of the day. Them and the Angels are going to be fighting it out for me in terms of if I'm going to build a 5 or a 4 being the main stack. And then we have Soroka pitching. I've said before, Pete Alonso is going to win Rookie of the Year. I really think Soroka is going to be second. I got a whole bunch of downvotes on the Reddit because I posted that Austin Riley can't be Rookie of the Year because he's not even the best rookie on his team. And I think that's true. Soroka is better than Riley. And, well, this year, obviously it's hard to compare apples and oranges, but Soroka's been consistent the whole year. He has been fantastic. And I have absolutely no problem whatsoever taking him against, a Mets team that only has a couple of hot bats on it. Alonso always looks good. Cano had the one good game. But Ramos has been bad. Rosario has been bad. Lagares is one of the worst hitters in baseball. He's there for defense and for nothing else. So this is not. Frazier. Frazier was red hot, and the fact that he's in the middle now means that the last few games he's been really cold, which means that you want to take advantage of that as well. So Soroka, one of my favorite pitchers against the Mets. Braves stack against Wheeler, one of my favorite stacks today. Ignore the hat. I said the Angels lineup was confirmed. And it is, oh boy. LaStella, Trout, Otani, Upton, Calhoun, Fletcher, Bohr, Lucroy, Tovar. So Rengifo's not playing for Tovar, which is side grade basically. Pujols isn't playing for Bohr, which is actually an upgrade. Given recent form and splits. And then Upton is indeed in the lineup batting fourth. So, give me all of the Angels today. If them or the Braves are going to be, like I said, those are going to be my 2 favorites. Next game up is the Indians and the Rangers. Clevenger just got 5.1 innings in his last rehab start. So for that reason, I'm a big fan of taking him. He is an ace quality guy. He's going to be priced over 10,000. PT, I would get her some it's called Beano. It's an old Italian thing for stopping people from farting. So if you got some girlfriend farting problems, Beano. This advertisement has been paid for by the Beano Advertisers of America. Next game, we have Indians and Rangers. I love Clevenger today. I'm going to be all over Clevenger today. I know he's going to be underowned, but he's gotten enough warm up that I am. Paul, a little quiet because after I'm done, I'm sorry, buddy. I know you want to play. I hate to make you quiet, but I have to. They have to be able to hear me talk. All right. So, Clevenger, I love him. Lance Lynn has been the best pitcher on the slate if you look at recent form. So I would like him as well. I think that he's been pitching out of his depth. So it would be a lot smarter to take an Indian stack, hoping that this is the game that Lynn's going to blow up. But that's, taking a chance, like someone's due for something. And it's harder to assume someone's due for something and they're not just going to continue being good. Maybe Lynn found something out and he's just going to be a good old crafty pitcher for the rest of the year. So I love Clevenger. I like Lynn. I don't want to pay 95 or 9,300 from him. Clevenger at 9,800 on FanDuel, I wouldn't go there. But again, that 8,700 on DraftKings just looks absolutely fantastic. So this is going to be a game where, again, if I'm going anywhere, I'm going to go to pitching. I'm going to avoid the hitters there. Next up, we have Red Sox and the Twins. The Red Sox lineup came out while I was talking. Betts, Benintendi, Martinez, Devers, Bogaerts, Holtz, Chavez, Bradley, and then Leon is catching for Vasquez, which doesn't really matter. In this grand scheme of things, Leon's a switch hitter, so it gives him extra flexibility, but this is not a time against Jose Barrios at home. I know, it was an accident. It's okay. You don't have to look at me like that. Like, I'm looking to take your toy away, buddy. Oh, it's so funny. I love him so much. Just try to not do it again, okay, buddy? So yeah, Barrios has incredible home away splits to the point that you would think he pitched for the Rockies. So I will. While I don't want to pay 10-3 for Barrios, even as good as he is at home. The Red Sox team is just too good a team. They're projected to get 5 runs. I think we can get a higher score from one of those 8,000 level pitchers. There's just too many good pitchers there that are too cheap. I think Clevenger will probably outscore him today. So again, Barrios is a good pitcher. I wouldn't take him out of the pool. I wouldn't say don't play him. But I would temper how I felt about him based on the fact that, the Red Sox are projected to get 5 runs. And the Red Sox are the best offense in the American League, as far as I'm concerned, until Judge and Stanton get back for the Yankees, and then until everybody gets back for the Astros. But as of right now, they're going to hold down that fort. So Barrios, I would play over the Red Sox stack, but I can understand, saving a little bit of money there. On the other side, Porcello is just a mediocre pitcher at best. He's been pitching in a mediocre fashion over the last couple of weeks, and the Twins have been a fantastic team. They're projected to get the second highest total today. Excuse me, at 5.6 runs. So instead of playing Porcello, I would love to get Kepler, Cruz, Marwin, Sano, and Scope are the 5 really hot hitters on the Twins today. The only cold hitter, the only one I would avoid, is Eddie Rosario, who has been cold as ice. He is very streaky, so on the 1-2 updated Washington lineup. What did they drop? Turner, Eaton, Rendon, Soto, Adams, Dozier, Gomes, Corbin, Robles. That's the exact lineup I had before. Maybe Roto Grinders had it wrong, and they didn't look at the official lineup. Anyway, Porcello's bad. I like the Twins. So the Twins are going to be under Atlanta for me, but they're still going to be one of my favorite stacks of the day. Pardon me, I have to do medicine, otherwise I won't be able to continue. Elmo's awesome. I love Elmo. Elmo's so funny. Say yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
You want to show them your Raphael? While I cough? No? He's so funny. Sorry, guys. Little Robe. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Little Robe. All right. Back to daddy video. Thanks, buddy. That was fun. Hi, Woody. All right, next game we got Marlins and the Cardinals. This is one that's a little trickier. Oh yeah, go ahead. You want to show him Raphael? My little Robe wants to show you guys Raphael because he got a giant Raphael for his birthday. Look at how big that thing is. That thing's bigger than my head. Look at this thing. It's bigger. It's bigger than my head. How cool is that?
I want to show you Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, and he also wants to show you Buzz Lightyear, guys. I know you care a lot. Don't make him talk though, because he's very loud. And look how big Buzz Lightyear is. Buzz Lightyear's even bigger than Raphael. So look right here. Look at that. Look how big he is. It's gigantic. And he flies around.
I want that.
Okay. I love you, buddy. Go keep playing. I gotta finish the video now.
I don't want you around.
Sorry, folks. I had to do it this way today. I'm going to do it like this every once in a while, but I haven't done a video in a couple days, and as bad as the pain is, I can't get downstairs to do it, so I have no other choice. This is a tricky game. Eliezer Hernandez is a decent strikeout guy, but he's not a good pitcher. I don't want to pitch him against the Cardinals, but 5,900 is too cheap for the upside that he has, so he's someone that I'm giving strong consideration to today. Again, he has enough strikeout upside, even though he's not that good, that I would still price him closer to 65 or 7,000 than 5,900. So I think that we can take a chance on him, especially considering that there's no one on this Cardinals team that's really hot lately except DeYoung, and that's a function of him going against the Mets, if you understand how well he hits the Mets. On the other side, we have Mikolas, and that's tricky because Operation Stack against Miles Mikolas every time he pitches is in full effect this season, and he's going against the Marlins, which is the worst offense that I've ever seen. So I think that, again, I'm probably going to avoid Mikolas. I think he's going to be overly popular today. Let me check that now. I always do like to check ownership for you guys as best I can. So would, and this is one of the very, very rare times you're going to hear me say this, I would rather take Marlins bats. They have enough decent hitters with Cooper and everybody else that I would have no problem at all. Yeah, as of right now, Mikolas is projected, according to RotoGrinders, Mikolas is projected to be the second highest owned pitcher today at 21%. I know the Marlins are... I know, just be careful, buddy. It's very loud. Mikolas is 21%, projected to be 21% owned, which is the second highest. I don't think there's any way that you can pay that for him. I would much rather take some Marlins. I just closed that tab because I was laughing, so hold on. That's my lineups tab, and I need that because that has all my hot cold information. Paulie, not so loud, buddy. Okay, so we have Cooper and Harold Ramirez who have been on fire lately. So I have absolutely no problem taking a good chance of them. And then, Granderson is cold and Starlin Castro is hitting like he's a double-A player. So I have no desire to play either of them. But I'm a big fan of Cooper tonight and Harold Ramirez. And I have no problem taking, Alfaro or JT Riddle if you want to get a couple more bats in, or Brian Anderson for that matter. There are 5 bats that you can take here, and the Marlins are underpriced. They'll let you get in expensive bats, and I would just rather have them than Miles Mikolas, who is a terrible, terrible pitcher. 4 games left, and then I need to go put my leg up because the pain is horrifying. We have O's and A's, and I believe we've gotten to the part of the night where all the games are 10 p.m. So this is not, we're talking night shift now. We have no projected line, or no, we only have projected lineups, no confirmed lineups. All right, so we have the O's and the A's. We have Mike Fiers taking on Andrew Kashner. Needless to say, I would rather have the bats everywhere in this game. Andrew Kashner is a bad pitcher. And the A's are projected to get 5.2 runs. Mike Fiers is a bad pitcher who got lucky with a no-hitter. And the O's are underrated as an offense. Again, they're not great. Underrated doesn't mean they're great. It just means that people have less expectations of them than they should. So this one is pretty simple. I would like A's bats tonight. I would like Orioles bats tonight. And I don't really want to have any Cashner or any Fiers. I will point out a couple of things, especially with Baltimore, because these guys really show the reverse splits. You have, again, assuming they play, Mike Fiers is a reverse splits righty. And then we have both Trey Mancini and Renato Nunez for the Orioles are reverse splits righties. So, as I always talk about, when you have reverse split hitter with a reverse split pitcher of the same hand, you want to try to focus them in your lineups, or at least try to add them as to your one-off pool. So Mancini is going to be a great play today. Renato Nunez is going to be a great play today. I really do like them both a lot. Next game, we have the Giants and the Dodgers. Are you just laughing because you keep seeing yourself in the camera? You're so cute. He's never seen himself on the camera before like that. It's all new to him. I've never done the video on the laptop because it hurts too much to have this on my legs. I love him so much. So we have the Giants and the Dodgers. This one is cut and dry. The Giants are the second worst offense in baseball. So give me all the Kenta Maeda today. Oh, you can't laugh that loud, buddy. It's very loud. Kenta Maeda should be priced over 10,000. He's 9,000. So he's going to be one of the best pitchers today, period. If he was 10,000, then we could talk about whether or not he's going to live up to it. But 9,000 against this Giants team that's projected to get the second lowest total today, give me all the Kenta Maeda that you can muster. On the other side, you have Tyler Beede, who is a decent strikeout guy that can't find the plate, and that's going to be really bad against a Dodgers team that doesn't strike out that much and walks all the time. So, I got to do the video, buddy. This is work. Against a Dodgers team that should go absolutely nuts off of him. Give me the Dodgers. The Dodgers would be, if we're ranking them, the Dodgers are going to be my third favorite stack today, underneath the Braves and the Angels. But they are right there, and I would put them in that same tier as the Braves and the Angels. Those three are going to be running away in my favorite three offenses of the day. So if you are playing the night slate only, then give me Maeda as the overall best pitcher, and give me the Dodgers as... I love you so much. I know, Paul, I have to finish doing my work, buddy. I can't do my work when you're jumping up and down and being all crazy. So again, yeah, that's that. He's so funny. I thought he would be better than this. I gave him the iPad to play Candy Crush Friends.
I'm so funny.
Did he get scratched? He didn't get moved to... I thought he was coming in after the opener. Excuse me. Let me double check that. Was what I saw wrong? Maybe someone told me the wrong thing. Hold on, Worthy. I have to check that because that is not what I thought was happening. I thought they moved him as out of the opener spot. No, I'm right. He is not scratched. Jackson is not scratched. He's just coming in after the opener of Derek Law. So Law will pitch like the first inning so that he gets through Trout, and then Edwin Jackson's going to come in. And even then, Law is not a good enough pitcher that I would be worried about it. So yeah, Angels are still the best stack. Good. You had me worried. I love the Angels so much. I thought they just moved him out of the starter into after the opener role. But yeah, Edwin Jackson is still pitching today. He is still going to do terribly today. So all the Angels that you can get, best stack of the day. All right, let's get back into it. 2 games left. We have the Royals and the Mariners. Danny Duffy taking on Tommy Malone here. Danny Duffy is projected to be the highest owned pitcher of the day, which I think is crazy because you can find better upside with other pitchers that are $1,000 more. Here, buddy, here's the remote. Mighty Pups is over, so you can find another show to watch. Okay, 4 as of yesterday, so it's hard to control. The Royals are a very good.
Just Paw Patrol on.
You just want me to put another Paw Patrol on?
Put that Paw Patrol.
I can't put the same. We're not watching the same Paw Patrol again. So here, I'll put on this one where he saves the goose. Okay, I love that one. Where Marshall saves the goose. All right.
And he just plays the
He's a ham. He loves people. He loves people. It's just so fun to watch. Okay, buddy, that's it. It hurts. Molly, stop it. Ow. Ow. No, don't. If you make me laugh, it hurts. Please. That really hurt me. Sorry, guys. That really hurt. No, don't. It really hurts, Polly. It really hurts. So we have Tommy Malone, lefty, going against the Royals. The Royals are underrated against lefties. Merrifield, Mondesi, and Soler, and Cuthbert. I wouldn't go beyond those 4, assuming all 4 of them are playing. But assuming those 4 are playing, I want to stack them. So you can do them as a mini stack with the 3, major stack with the 4, whatever you want to do. But give me some of those Royals lefty crushers against Malone. Again, Merrifield, Mondesi, Soler, and Cuthbert. All of them are amazing plays today, and they're all underpriced. Merrifield and Mondesi had been in the mid-5s for most of the season. They're $4,500 each. Soler was around 5. He's 41, and Cuthbert has been on fire since they called him up. 3,400. Absolutely inexcusable pricing there. So Tommy Malone is one of the worst pitchers in baseball. I don't care how well he started off. He's terrible. Give me some Kansas City Royals bats. On the other side, Danny Duffy's okay, but like I said before, he's projected to be the highest owned pitcher of the day. When someone that's mediocre with a mediocre projection going against a decent team, offensively anyway, when that happens, there's just no reason to go with 30% of the field with Tommy Malone. There's just no reason to do it. So, as I've talked about in great detail before, one of the best things you can do is take Mariners bats. While I don't love them, Santana, Vogelback, Seager, not bad. Murphy has shown that he can hit pretty well against lefties. That's why they use him there. Mac Williamson, decent against lefties. So again, Danny Duffy, if he were 1% owned, I would say, let's give him a chance tonight. But given the 30% ownership, given the fact that he's, the highest owned guy by 7 or 8% tonight, according to Roto Grinders, means I would rather take a chance elsewhere in GPPs. Although that does make him a very good play as your SP2 if you're playing cash games. Now, the last game, we got the Brewers and the Padres. This is one that I like the pitching a lot. I think that the ballpark is big enough, depending on who you look at, it's either like the third or the worst park for hitters in baseball. So while the Brewers' offense is always dangerous, I think that that's going to push ownership off of Lucchesi. And Lucchesi is a good enough pitcher that you can take a chance on him. I would rather play Lucchesi than the Brewers stack, but that's like a GPP thing. As I've talked about before, there's enough. Oh, God, I'm sorry, the pain. This is really hard. There's enough pitchers in the mid 8,000 range that I don't think we need to take that chance on Lucchesi. There are some better dudes in the area. Corbin at 82, Miley 84, Clevenger 87, Chirinos at 88, Maeda at 9,000. I would rather have all of those guys than Duffy and rather just spend up. So there's just no justification for taking someone 30% owned when everything is done. But the other one that I want to talk about, because I've talked about him in great detail and then I have to go, unless you have any questions, is Julius Chassin. Chassin is someone who I've described many times can only get righties out. So if he is going against a team that is filled with lefties, you want to avoid him. If he's going against a team that even has like 3 or 4 lefties, you're going to want to avoid him. But as of right now, according to everything that I'm projecting, they might play Josh Naylor, and that's certainly true, but according to the projected lineup that I have, the Padres are going to have 1 lefty in it. They're going to have Tatis righty, Hosmer lefty, Machado, Renfroe, Reyes, Myers, Kinsler, Hedges. All of them are righties. If you look at, like I said, if you look at the Padres bench, it's certainly possible that they play Naylor. And as a lefty, that would be worse for Chassin. But they really don't have. They could play Greg Garcia, who's a lefty as well. But again, it's going to depend on the lineup, right? Obviously, is what I'm getting at here. They have options for lefties, and if they play those lefties, I don't want to play Chassin, right? If they play, a lineup with Garcia leading off, and then Austin Allen, who's a lefty catching, and Josh Naylor, as well as Eric Hosmer playing, I am going to get off of the Padres. That's 4 or 5 lefty bats, and Chassin won't be able to handle that. But if you take the projected lineup, which is going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 righties in a row, followed by a pitcher, followed by another righty, that's 8 easy outs for Chassin that he'll be able to get in a row at 6,900 and 63 on FanDuel for one of the best pitchers ballparks in baseball. Padres team that's been pretty cold lately, only projected to get about 4 runs. You could do a lot worse than Chassin. So there's a few things that we're going to need to look out for as we wait for the lineups and everything else to solidify itself tonight. But the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned, as of right now, is going to be that Padres lineup. If they are righties, all righties, I'm going to play a lot of Chassin tonight. If they play 4 or 5 lefties, I'm going to pivot to a couple of those 8,000 guys that I just mentioned. So all things being said, in summary, in terms of bats, again, I want the Angels first, followed by the Braves, followed by the Dodgers. There are some other stacks that I like just fine. Like I talked about, I do like the Nats. I really like the Blue Jays a lot. I really like the Blue Jays a lot. I like the Twins a lot. I like the Marlins a lot more than other people, especially if you want to spend up. And I like the bats in the Orioles and Athletics game. And I like a couple of those Royals righties. So that's a lot of people that you'd be able to pick bats from. I'm going to focus, if I'm playing one lineup, I'm going to focus on the Angels, the Braves, and the Dodgers, as I talked about. And then in terms of where we want to go with pitching, I think that it is pretty foolish, given how well the 8,000 tier looks, to go, elsewhere. I can understand going up to a Soroka against the Mets at 10-5. I can understand if you want to take a GPP chance on a Berrios at 10-3. But there's really no reason to pay 10,000 or more for a pitcher today when you have someone like Kenta Maeda going against an abysmal Giants team at only 9,000, where you have Clevenger, who's going to be 10,000 in a couple of weeks, who's been stretched out enough in rehab starts at 8,700. There's absolutely no justification for Miley going against a weaker Reds offense in his recent form, being 8,300, 8,200, 8,400. There's no justification to Patrick Corbin, who is an ace, even though who's an ace at 8,200. On top of that, while the Nats game is in danger of weather, I think all of the games tonight are going to play. As I've talked, as if you've watched these videos before, you know that if there's like a big weather thing, and then I start by talking about it, I think every single one of these games is going to be able to play. How's it going? How you doing, Heinz and Harry? I don't know what Moon Service Moon means, but that's fine. I'm having really severe spasms from the tests that they had to do on me today. I had my specialist appointment, so I'm going to end it there. So yeah, Corbin is underpriced. I'm gonna focus on taking those pitchers in the 8,000 range. If you want to go under that, I can understand. I know, like I said, I love Chassin depending on the lineup. I love Chassin depending on the lineup. If they're playing 8 righties, 7 righties, I'm going to be all over it. Other than that, I can see going down to Eliazar Hernandez at 5,900. But that's going to be it. So thank you all for joining me today. Sorry about the noise from Polly. Sorry about everything else, Little Robe. But I really appreciate it. I know it was Woody, buddy. I love you. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me, and then I'll see you all tomorrow.